All right, guys. Pranto, can you hear me?
Yes,
All right. So, good evening, everyone. So, this is one of our the first technical show and tell. The targeted audience will be the agile product owner. This is one of the course we do provide, and also that someone wants to be a business analyst as well as the project manager. So, without delay, we are going to start this session for 1 hour. And we'll do the hands-on based on the multiple things. We will be using the project management platform. We will be actually following the Agile Scrum, and we will be actually writing the user story, and we will be actually doing the bunch of hands-on. And of course, the second part is coming next week, just to follow this part. So without delay, myself is Shibla Ahmad. We'll go over more details. So let me share my screen, and then we go from there. I hope you guys can see my screen. Okay, so the tonight agenda is project management from scratch, writing user stories to follow Agile Scrum, and targeted audience, as I said, product owner, business analyst, and project manager. Presented by Shibla Ahmad, myself, solutions architect, Agile ALM, Pranto Mojumdar, test lead Agile ALM. Okay, so let's see what we do. So create a project on Agile ALM. So Agile ALM is our platform. That's the TS for you actually developing. So it's kind of similar to Jira. So that's it. And then we will be creating Apex. And of course, we'll know more details. We will be creating features and link with Apex. We will be creating the user stories and link with features. And then so some of the user story, we will be creating sign up, sign in, forget password, verify OTP, and we will be creating some new user stories that we do not have the functionality today on the e-commerce platform. And attach file with the work items, verify the backlogs, create features and link with the Apex, and the create sprints and link user story with the sprint. Create a team and invite team members, create retro board, and the part 2 is coming next week, which is Saturday. All right. So without delay, let's go to the hands-on. So we are going to use the Agile ALM, which is this. You can try it out. And you have to sign up. If you are not signed up, you have to do the sign up. That's from here. Simply log out, sign in, and then I am already a user. Once you are signed in, of course, this is the project we are going to select, and we'll be actually creating this is an organization. An organization is like a company, and a company can run 1 to hundreds of projects, and that's actually the company's software development or IT team, the major focus. So let's get started. So we actually can create a new project, which is ecom single owner e-commerce. So let's do this. I am actually creating a project. Add all the project management through this. Add all the user stories through this project, using this project. So this is a project. Simply, you can create a project. A project is created by a product owner or the project manager or the scrum master. It is based on the team or the company you work for. A project is the giving project permission, setting up the project, who will be in the project, and then inviting the people. That's all the part of the role and responsibility from the product owner or the project manager job. So let's go with this project. So first things, you see everything is empty. Everything is empty. So I am actually going to send invitation to Pranto. Pranto, what is your email? Is this one?
Yes.
Okay, so I added him in the project. I added him in the. I am inviting. I added his email, and I'm actually adding him in a group. So that should be it, and click save. At this moment, he and myself in this project, and then actually we are going to do a couple things here. Um, we are not going to become familiar all of this. We are going to create an epic. So the targeted platform is this. This is an e-commerce based platform that is the purpose is a single company who sell their product from the store, but they can actually run their business from the website. And what they do, there is two part of this the platform. One is the seller, the who is actually the selling the product, listing the product, and another is buyer as myself who will visit the website and buy the product. I think that's pretty much it. This is actually only the website, so there is no mobile app in this platform as of now. And this app, this platform is based on Marn stack. M for MongoDB means Mongo database. E for Express.js is a framework. R for React.js, JavaScript is a framework. And then Node.js is like the runtime engine for the JavaScript. So that's actually the stack for this platform. So in this, we will be actually doing the multiple things. The first of all, we will be actually creating the user story for the functionality which is exist. That's the one part. Another is we will be creating the user story for some functionalities that is not exist today. So why? So the purpose of this to show you how to create a user story from an existing functionality, as well as how to create user stories for a functionality of that is not exist but need to be developed, so that you get the both picture. And a project is something either a brand new application or existing application. For us, this is an existing application. This application need to have so many functionalities added in order to make this application, the platform, robust. So without delay, let's get this started. So we're going to create an epic. So we're going to work items, create an epic. Okay, being an high level at the definition of an epic. An epic is a big chunks of work. So in simple way, many features combined an epic. An epic can take months, can take 3 months, can take 4 months, because there are features. So without delay, I'm just going to write an epic. So user management, web portal, ecom, user management. That's pretty much it. So, and I'm going to write this user management features will be added under this epic. Okay, and if you do not have the Grammarly, make sure you can actually install this from the plugin. It's simple. You can go to the Google Chrome store and you can just simply type the Grammarly. So let's familiar with this interface. So this is like a who is in this project. Their name will be pop up. So typically this owner is project manager or the product owner, and this is new at this moment. This is the description. So this description will be given by the business department, the department who will be actually developing this platform or enhance this platform. Discussion is if there is any questions related these details, there will be discussion. For now, we are not going to use the discussion section. And the priority is always the when this the epic will be started to work, and that's the priority. If we do not do this, the epic, then what will be the risk involved? And the epic, estimated very high level, because epic we just give an estimation, goes with the like how long it can take. Many time, in realistic, many epic does not complete in a timely manner. So we can say like the 4 month or the 3 months. Okay. And business value, if the user is not able to log in, sign up, and buy the product, of course this application will not work. Everything has a start date, so all of the business always wants to give an estimated date to start and estimated to complete. So let's start with this the next Monday, and then we actually are going to do at least the 3 months. So let's do this like this. So now we have a 3-month epic. So now let's close. So an epic is like this. Epic is a big chunk of work. Now we are going to actually create a feature and link with that epic. Okay. So now let's see here. I'm going to create a feature, right? Am I right, Pranto?
Yes.
Yes. So where do I go?
So you can just go to the backlogs,
Okay.
click on plus. You can
So
create
if
from
I
your.
want to, yep, if I want to create a feature under an epic, I can simply come to the backlogs and the click epic, just plus here. So it will be automatically will be part of the epic. So user related, user sign up, user onboarding features. Okay. So user onboarding means user sign up, user sign in, the sign in, forget password, then the password reset, verify OTP. All of this will be on this feature. Okay, this is also high level. We need to give priority. It will take, say an example, 10 days, because 10 days means because it will be needed to develop by the backend developer, developed by the front-end developer, quality engineer need to be tested, a database need to be created, and then also the cloud ops engineer need to be deploying in the development and test environment. For this reason, I actually give the 10 days. Of course, you have to do the show and tell as well. So we're going to start this 19, and we are going to start the 20, let's see, 29, 10 days. So that's our goal. And this feature will go also the product owner. So now this feature is part of this epic. That's pretty much it. So now the feature we created, remember in Agile Scrum, we are not able to do so many things in one day. So the part of the goal of the Scrum is you have to do something every day and show the value to the business. So now we are going to actually create the user story. So look again, you're in the backlog and you want to create the user story under this feature, plus. Now, user as a buyer, I should be able to do a sign up on the website. That's it. And objective. Objective, as a buyer, I would like to do a sign up from the website to complete, so that I can buy, I can add, buy, and check out from the e-commerce from the website. Good. So that's the objective. For this objective, prerequisite, I should have a valid email, and that's actually the prerequisite. Otherwise, you will not be able to log in. Now the acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria is after this user story complete, what I can accept or what I can expect. That's the acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria has to be in a way that it has the all the scenario covered. Many projects they do the acceptance criteria, many projects they don't. As long as team has understanding, it is all good to go. So now let's do this acceptance criteria. So let's say sign up with, so let's go check. Number one, let's go click here and register now. Okay, so name, email, and password. So let's go see. I should say I should be able to register. I should be able to do a registration on the website. Okay, and as a buyer, I should be able to do the registration. I should be, I would like to do a registration on the website so that I can add, buy, and check out from the website. Okay. So acceptance criteria is registration, complete registration with name, email, and password. Okay, complete the input registration with email, name, and password. Input means, of course, it's not registration complete. And expect. So should we follow the user story? Then I will input the registration. I will put the name, email, and password. Then I will click the registration. Is this we should follow, Pranto?
Yes, and also we have to like give a complex password. Then
Okay.
the input fields need placeholder. You can add those criteria also.
So what should I start now? To follow the standard.
Yes, we can just directly give like we can directly write like this that the email fields, then the password fields should have the placeholder.
Okay.
Then
So I can start this. I was thinking like the given, when, then. Should you
oh,
follow
that
this?
one will be the scenario base. Yeah, so we can start with the given.
Okay.
So
Given,
given with the, like navigate to the base URL.
navigate to the
Not the base URL actually. We can say the registration URL.
registration URL.
Yes. Then when I input
When I input my name,
the yes,
email, and password. Okay.
and I click on the sign up button.
Click on. So let's
Register
check on this.
button.
I click on the register button. I click on register button. Okay. Okay.
Then and when I sorry, it will be and
And
I input the OTP.
no, I should receive an email.
I should receive an email with
I, sh-
OTP.
I should receive an email with OTP, one time passcode. Okay.
Yes.
When I input my OTP on
Yep.
the register, right? Verify OTP
Yes.
menu
The verify
window.
fail. Yeah.
Okay. Then I should be able to sign in on the
Successful.
sign in
Uh,
successfully.
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. So this is actually the actually a happy path acceptance criteria. Am I right? So now we can actually do the scenario based on this. Good? Am I right on this? Do I have to do the more?
No, for the scenario base, we are good.
Okay. So the user, and let's actually do something a little bit more. Risk is important, high. Effort is, so for the developer and then for the backend developer need to write the API estimation wise. So we'll talk about this later, just now. So start date from today, and then we're going to put the end date is 16. Let's see this and click save. All right. So now we are going to create one more user story. Let's do that. Ready? Sign in. As a buyer, I should be able to sign in with my valid email and password that I have signed up, I have registered on this website. Am I right?
Yes.
Objective. As a buyer, I should be able to sign in with my valid email ID and password that I have registered. Pretty much same thing. Register on the website. Acceptance criteria. Okay, so what do you do here now? Objective as a buyer. So now,
Yeah. Given we can
prerequisite.
also put a prerequisite. Yeah.
What should we do here?
Like we need to register. We need to do the registration first. Um,
Registration should be completed
yeah.
completed with valid. A successful registration need to be completed, right? A successful registration needs to be completed, correct? So,
Yeah.
and then we can say the user story, link user story, the user dependent user story. Am I right?
Yes.
Dependencies. So we can go back again and I can show the both things. My organization, click, single e-commerce, backlog, and this is the number 3, right?
Yes.
So that's number 3. So user story number 3. Or you can call that, we call the enabler. Okay, so let's say dependent user story, we call this. Okay, so what do you do here now?
So here, first of all, we just like given I navigate to the base
When
URL.
given when I navigate to the URL, let me make it bigger a little bit so people can see. Navigate to the URL, then
Yes. I click
what
on the user icon.
I click on the, navigate to the auth URL. Let's go a little bit more details, right? So click,
Uh,
then the
this one is
login.
actually the base URL, so it just a pop up.
Okay,
Yes.
got it. Okay, makes sense. Given when I navigate to the base URL,
Then I click on the user icon.
then I click on the user icon, right
Okay,
top
and
corner, right top
yes,
corner. When go ahead.
and it will be end.
Sorry.
Sorry, it will be instead of then, it will be when. So
Oh, when.
yes,
Okay.
and
And
I input email and password,
input my valid. Okay, it's fine. Input my email and password.
and I click on login button.
Click on the login button.
Yes. Then I should be able to log in successfully.
Should be able to log in successfully on the user.
Yes.
on my user menu, on my user portal, correct?
Yep.
Okay, someone may be listening. Can you please request them to to mute because I hear myself. All right. So, do you have anything here now? Are we good on
No.
this?
Yes.
So now, why I'm echoing? Okay. So this is you. Save and close. So I think we added number 2 user story. Now let's add one more user story. That functionality is not exist here today. Okay. So now let's go here. Let's go on this website, and we do not have a like the complex password, correct? At this moment, everybody is able to log on this in this platform without any, without like a regular password. So now we are going to add a new user story under this feature. As a user, I should not be able to register without a complex password. Am I correct?
Yes.
As a buyer, I should say as a buyer. As a buyer, when I do the registration, it should stop me. It should gives a pop-up message that I need to use complex password that include the caps, one capital, one number, one the extra special character, and at least 8 password at length, and password length should be password length minimum 8 character, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's do this. Okay, so this requirement, this user story, this functionality is not exist on this platform. So now there is no, as a buyer, I should not be able to register without a complex password. So the requirement is need to use, okay, a minimum include 8. Okay, good. So there is no prerequisite for this. All I know the prerequisite, right? A valid email account required a buyer, a user needs a valid email account for needs a valid email account for the OTP to receive the OTP, right? OTP. Good. Here. Now let's continue this acceptance criteria. All right. So let's start this now. This is our last one. Then it should be good. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So it will be like given navigate to the registration URL.
Navigate to the registration URL.
Yes.
URL.
When I input name
When
and
I
email address, when I input my name
my
and email
name,
address.
email address, and password,
Yes.
and complex password to follow the password requirements, right? Okay,
Yes.
right.
And then it's like, and I click on the register button.
And I click on the register button. Okay,
Then I should get the OTP code,
I should get
name.
an email with OTP code and pass that code on my registration OTP verification page, right? My
Yes.
OTP verification page. Then
Then I should able to registration successfully.
I should click on the OTP verify
Yes.
OTP.
No, it will be and as it is action item. So and or when you can use.
Okay, and I should click to verify OTP. I should click the verify OTP button, right?
Yes.
I should click the button, click the I should click on the verify OTP button, right? Is it right?
Yes.
To be able to log in, sign in successfully. All right. All right. So basically, this requirement is not exist today. This actually in our website we do not have this requirements. So in order to build these requirements, this is actually the user story we have written. We have not done anything else. We have just written the user story. So let's continue. As a buyer, I should not be able to register without a complex password. And we have written objective, we have written the prerequisite. So we have done this. And then we also wrote the acceptance criteria. For now, this high risk, if yeah, user should be able to, otherwise it will be risk. And the business value is important. Effort we don't know. We are going to start this again from this, and we should be able to finish by, actually no, we're starting this. Let's start all as next Monday, and then we should be able to finish next, because this should be actually 1 day worth of effort, but we will talk about more details. So we have all the details now. We should be good to go. All right. So basically, we have covered our the epic features and the user story. So we have done all of this. So now, good. We just filter this. Now let's go create a sprint. Create a sprint. So to create a sprint, we just click here, create sprint, and then give the name. First sprint, user sign up. So sprint can be beautiful name. Sprint can be selected. Sprint name can be selected by the team. So that's the best practice, and it's something meaningful name. So that's the project, which team, and the start date. Sprint always start on Monday, and sprint always, most of the time, sprint is for the 2 weeks. Okay, so it will be done on like the 3rd. That's actually the 2 weeks sprint. Let's continue. The sprint is created. So before the planning meeting, this sprints is created. So now what we'll be doing, we will be actually doing the planning for the 3 user story. What are them? These 3 user story. One is, of course, we have the registration, and we have actually the sign in, but we do not have this user story done yet, which is, so let's open this up. I should not be able to do a registration on the website. Is this one? Nope, not this one. Which one should be? Is it the number 5? Yep. So as a buyer, I should not be able to register without a complex password. That's the goal. So in the planning meeting, all the development team member actually present. Planning meeting normally takes 1 hour based on the actually the product owner decide. Can be 90 minutes, but can be 60 minutes. In the planning meeting, the user storage that are ready for the development, those are being planned. What it means, plan means in this sprint, those user story will be developed by the development team. It means A developer will be developing, database engineer will be creating the database or the table, and cloud ops engineer will be deploying this code, and test engineer will be testing. So everyone needs to equally understand the scope of the user story or understand the scope of the work, and finally they will actually execute the work to start the sprint. So for us, I believe, since we have already the password complexity, I don't know exactly how long the developer can say how long it will take. I don't know. It will be developer the point of views, but I am guesstimating it should not take more than 2 hours for a developer to implement the complex password. For QA, from the how long it should take for the creating the test case, prepare the test case, prepare the test data, and execute the test case, how long it can take.
It can take almost 5 hours.
All right. So that's it seems like the valid timing, because the if it is, yeah, because the test case creation, test data preparation, test execution, as well as the bug creation may happen if it is not if it is not working as expected. If the bug is created, then of course, after the bug is fixed, retest need to be done as well. So now let's see the 3 hours and the 5 hours. I believe for the DevOps engineer, it can take couple hours to deploy. And for the database engineer, I do not think there will be a like a database table need to be created for this, but we don't know. So for now, we can say 10 hours. Am I right? Okay. So business value is important for the security. Time criticality, I don't know this, and that's our goal. So since it is 10 hours, so we cannot get it done. Yep, so we are good in this. So basically, if the next Monday this user story start developing, and we are expecting this need to be done by the 20. When we done means development need to be done, deployment need to be done, and then testing need to be done. In this case, deployment can be the test environment, deployment will be staging environment, and final release of the deployment will be finally in the production. For us, it is we are actually in the staging environment. That's the staging. Okay. All right. So let's continue. So we're thinking in the 10 hours. We do not have any concern about it. Let's continue and let's bring it on. So now the prompt will be actually the prompt will be the QA, or there will be a new QA on this team. If no QA exists at this moment, product owner can do the basic testing. But if QA exists, the QA will be actually taking the testing responsibility. For this, we need actually the front-end developer, we need the back-end developer. Because the back-end is who is actually writing the logic, and front-end is who is actually implementing the UI or implementing the logic. So so we need the 5 people to implement this: front-end developer, back-end developer, quality engineer, DevOps engineer. If there is like I don't think database will be needed, and the product owner itself. So the whole team is called the development team. So now we can actually close this deal. We will be adding this story to the user sign up process, because that's the sprint we created. And we say sign, save, we are done. So now if we go to the sprint, if we go to the task board, so this actually the user story is showing on this task board. A task board is based on the user story. Whoever is assigned this user story, they will be creating the task. In this case, let's create the task. Development. Backend development. That's it. It will be actually the development, right? Development. Effort will be 1 hour. And then writing business, writing logic for the complex password. That's it. A task is high level. And in this case, we do not have anyone. So now let's go back and then add some people in this project. So let's bring it on. Yep, we need a developer. So let's bring developer here in this case. And we are good. All right, so let's go sprint. So that's you are adding the development in the team. So now we actually got the developer. And if a developer is full stack means writing the backend logic and developing the front end, that's called the full stack. So let's create a front end implementation. Okay, so let's see, implement a complex password on the front end. Okay, that's it. Sorry. So I hope can you guys hear me? Pranto, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear
Hear me?
you.
Hey, can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So now let's go with this. And the risk is medium, of course. Effort is 1 hour. Remember this, we cannot break this start time and end time. That's pretty much it. And look at this, it is already in the sprint, mean the iteration. Let's save and close. This is here. There is 2 tasks here. There is another task is deployment. If there is a manual deployment, this is one thing. If there is automated deployment, that's a different thing. We are not going that route. I am not even doing anything. That's not my anything. And actually, I'm creating the task for the testing. Test case preparation. Okay. And it is actually the testing activities. Risk is high. And the effort is 1 hour. And then actually start with this date and end this date. And let's continue with this save and close. Test data preparation and test execution. Test data preparation and test execution. Okay, so each of the things need to be, each of the tasks need to be created in order to complete this user story. So test execution is testing. It will be actually high. The effort will be 3 hours because remember we have a total 5 hours. So I will do the 20 and I will finish the 20. All right. And then assign the same person, save and close. Good. And we have one more thing, show and tell. Show and tell. So show and tell is actually the, I don't know, what is the show and tell? So show and tell is kind of there is nothing exist. So let's show the testing as well. And risk is high. Show and tell is for the business want to see how this works. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, this show and tell will take. And this show and tell will be done actually on the last day. So show and tell will be done on 30th because show and tell done always at the end of the sprint because business does not have the time to see the show and tell for each user story. So it will be at this end. So that's pretty much actually the whole task we can think of. If there are more tasks needed, we will be actually adding and then task is done. So now how this works. Let's bring this on. When someone is actively working on it, actually bring this, they will put their task start. So this kind of things actually sprint gets started. Every day we'll be working next 10 days, we'll be working simultaneously. Okay. And the developing, preparing test case, preparing test data, all will be as much as parallel as possible. Not always, but many times it is possible. Nobody can sit idle. everybody need to do something. Front-end developer, because it's less hours, and possibly deployment can be done, and then test case actually, where the test case can be done as well. So this actually need to be better. So whenever something is done, whenever this backend is done, whenever the backend is done, there will be a technical review meeting with the QA engineer and the front-end developer. Why? So the backend developer can demonstrate, can show how this logic work. That's the purpose. Once this meeting is done, then it will be actually resolved. Before the resolve, the backend engineer can go through the technical review meeting with the senior engineer. If the senior engineer gives the heads up, everything looks good, then it can go to the technical review meeting. Before the technical review meeting, the senior engineer actually review the code, make sure the code is standard is good, the basic, the code process and procedure formatting, everything looks good, and the logic is good. That's the purpose. This is the engineering activities. Then of course the front-end developer understand this, and then actually implement the code. Once implementation is done, again they go, front-end developer go through the same process, technical review meeting with the front-end senior engineer. If there is no issues, then it goes to the resolve. And now the test engineer do the same thing. They actually start the test case preparation review. If there is any feedback, test case review meeting with the senior Q engineer. If no issues and our test case has covered, no issues, then test case is ready for the execution. Test case review can be done by the product owner who has written the user story. Test case review can be done by the senior, the Q engineer, or the testing lead. Whoever understands the requirements very well, they can review it. Once this part is done, then the actually test data preparation and test execution. Once the testing is done, there is no bug found, then it can be resolved as well. Of course, I'm actually moving the deployment because before the anything start with the testing, deployment come to the picture. Because without the deployment in the test environment, a test engineer, test analyst cannot test anything. Finally, all is done. Actually, everything can be closed. Everything can be closed. So let's see. We are keeping the show and tell alone because this show and tell is not done yet. Show and tell will be done in this date. Okay, show and tell done will be on this date because that's the end of the sprint. So this user story is not done. A done concept means all the task has to be completed in order to say done. And that's actually the interview question. So we want to actually wrap up today's session, this 1 hour session, with this demonstration. The coming Saturday, we will be actually creating the test case details and then actually do the more details. So you see this, basically they cannot go there. They will be here. Basically, they will be here. We just completed, but actually they will be here because we did not touch any test case. We actually demonstrated how the sprint work. And then in some point, we'll be actually creating the retro board before the sprint complete. So that is it for today's session. Let me see if there is any question, and then actually we will be answering those questions. So let's go see. All right. So this is actually for the product owner, and they actually see this, and then they actually continue this more details. Okay, let's go see. All right. So we have covered today's session. So let's go back one more time what we have done. Okay. All right. So let's see one more time. Writing user stories to follow the Agile Scrum. We have done it. Create a project on Agile ALM, done. Create Apex, actually we created one Apex, so that is done. Create features and link with Apex, that's actually done. Create user stories and link with features, that is done. So we have done this sign up, we have done this sign in, but we actually created a new user story that is not exist today. A user story is something, a new functionality need to be added that is not exist in the application of the platform today. So we have created a new user story, which is create a complex password so that user should be able to register with the complex password. Instead of currently user can only log in with the regular password. We have not done this. We have to verify the backlog. We create the feature. We created a sprint and this user story, and then create a team and invite the team member. We did not create the retro board because the sprint just started. And the next Saturday will be actually user story with the same sprint. I think that should be it. But I actually think something need to be done as well. So let's go with this. So Pranto, I think we can add current situation because this is current situation. Currently, user, any user can sign up with a regular password, isn't it? Because there will be a question why we are touching this when it is working. So we need to also mention current state or the current situation or current implementation. Am I right?
Yes.
All right. So I think that's the part is active. We need to, when we start working on, we need to put it into active. Okay, when we start something, we need to create the active. I think that should be it for today, and I can stop my session. So, hey guys, thank you very much for watching. So, our goal is to give you a journey, end-to-end journey, so you can think, you can see the big picture, and you can see the details, how actually start, how it continue, how it ends up. And this one will be done by the what? I think by the October 3rd. And before that, we should be able to do this show and tell and complete this journey. And the deployment will be staging environment. Pantu, do you have any question?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Did I cover everything? I believe I did.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you guys.
So in the next week we
Bye.
will add more user stories, right? And
Yes.
also we'll continue the testing process.
Yes, the Saturday we will be actually creating the testing for this user story. At the same time, our product owner should be able to write, they should be able to see how it works, they should be able to write the user story, then we can do the review for them.
Okay.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thank you very much. And we appreciate your time. And then exciting will be next Saturday, and we'll be bringing all this, the how to the implement hands-on each of the topic, implement so many tools, process, and the procedure. Have a good night. Thank